Hi there, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create this professional dashboard using Excel. So this is actually dynamic. You can select a region, then you see the data sorted by region. So if I select South America, you can see this data will be sorted. If I go to Europe, it will be sorted in that order. And then the items for that region will also be selected. You can actually select a specific date, and then that will be sorted accordingly. And then if I select all dates, if I decide to select all dates, and then select all region, you can see the total sales is 50, and then the total amount is also going to display here. And then we can also see our regional sales display here, and the monthly sales report will be displayed here, as well as the product sales. So if you select for a specific region, you can see that will be sorted in that order. So that is basically what we're going to create in this particular video tutorial, and everything is going to be step by step with no step skip. Remember to subscribe if today is your first time visiting my channel, and don't forget to turn on post notification. This is actually the data we're actually going to use for this. We're going to use this data, the sales data, to create this dashboard. So we're going to create a new worksheet. So this is what we're going to do. First, let's go to view and then uncheck the grid line here, and then we'll go back to the insert tab and then go to illustration. Before I do that, let me collapse my ribbon so I have enough space to work with. So I'll go to the insert tab here, go to illustration, under shape, let me pick this rectangular shape and then draw my rectangular shape like this. So this is basically going to be my rectangular shape. Now when you go back to the shape format, you can pick a color of your choice. First, I'm going to uncheck the no outline, and then for the shape color, I can pick any color of my choice, and I'm going to pick this. And then what we'll do is that I'll just copy and then paste this back here. So just copy the first shape, copy and then paste, and then go back to shape format here, and then pick a lighter shape for that. So this should give you something like this. So you should be getting something like this. Just try resize this, just resize this a bit, so you should be getting something like this. So just scroll down and make sure everything is set. So this is actually what we have at the moment. Now let's go ahead and let's compare this to what we have over here. First, we have our data here, and what we want to do is that we're going to create a pivot table which will allow us to insert our data right here into this table. So the first of all, let's go to our data, select anywhere and Control A to select everything. Let's go back to the insert here and then go to pivot table. So this is going to create a pivot table, and make sure you select new worksheet. So this is going to be a new worksheet, and let's name it a new pivot table. So I'm just going to name a new pivot table. So this is actually what I'm going to use. Now the first thing we need to do is that we want to get the date. So if you come here, the first was the date. So in our new pivot table, let's come here and then pick our date. So this is going to be our date. Select everything here, and let's go to pivot table analyzer, and then you can go ahead and select the insert timeline. So this is going to be your pop-up. Select date and then click on this to insert your timeline. So over here, what we'll do is you can pick any color of your choice. So pick a color that matches your design, and then you can enlarge this like this. So we're actually going to enlarge this, and then make sure you cover all your dates options over here. Now what we'll do is that we can uncheck the scroll option, uncheck timeline, and then also if you want to select uncheck labels, you can do that. So I don't want the labels to show, but I want to pick this remaining information here, and I think this is cool. So what we'll do is that just copy this and go to your main data, or go back to your dashboard and then paste it right there. So make sure you reposition this here right here. So this is basically what we're going to have. Now we'll be using this for everything. We'll use this to sort out our data. Now this is going to be our dashboard, so I'm going to name it in my second dashboard. So dashboard 1. So let me just make it dashboard 1 so we know where we are. So go back to pivot table. I'm just going to drag this down here, copy the same data. Now we know we have our regions right here, so we need to also have the region. So we need to place our region next to this. So go back to your pivot table, we'll copy the same data here. We'll copy the same data, you can just paste it anywhere, paste it, and then we'll come back to our field here and check this, and then let's go to only region. So this is going to give you the region here. So select everything and then go to your pivot table analyzer, and then let's go to insert slicer, and then we have to select region from here. So this is going to give us something like this. Let's go back here and then let's change this to about 2 columns. So this is going to give us something like this. This is going to give us something like this, and let's make sure we change the color to match our design. So go back here and then let's pick a color that matches our design. So this is actually going to be something like this. Let's enlarge this a bit so our text will be displayed fully right here. So this is what we have, and then make sure you copy this. We are going to copy this and go back to our dashboard, paste this right here, and then let's reposition it next to this. So it's going to be next to our dates. So just do this. So all you have to do is make sure you enlarge your table to actually fit your design so everything is well aligned. So this is what we have. Now we're going to compare it to what we're actually going to design. Now we need the items here. We need the items, so we need to move ahead to our table. Let's reposition this down here, copy this, and then we can come anywhere and paste that. Now we need to come back and check the region and check month, and then let's go to items. So this is going to give us item. Make sure you select the entire items here. We go back to the pivot analyzer and then go to slicer, insert slicer, and then select items right here. So this is going to give you something like this. Now we can actually push this into about 3 columns. So first select this and then go to slicer, and then for the columns let's increase it to, I think 4 columns will not be bad. We can increase that to 5 as well. So just reposition this, just resize this to fit into a column that you are okay with. So here I think if you need more columns, you can actually go back here and then add more columns just to make sure everything is well aligned. So I think about 7 columns will do for me. So that is what I'm going to go with, and then make sure you go back here and then change your color to match your design. So I'm going to pick this, since that is what matches my design. I'll copy this and then go back to my dashboard. I'll go back to my dashboard and paste this right here. So make sure you realign this, put this somewhere here, and then what I will do is to resize this to fit right here. So make sure you have everything like this. So this is basically aligning to exactly what we want to do. Now let's compare this to this. Now we need a place for data analytics, and then we need a place for this as well. So we need to create that. So what we need to do is that we need to create 2 new shapes. So go to the insert tab, go to illustration, and then go to shapes right here. So let's pick a shape, or let's probably use the rectangular shape. So let's go here and I'm going to pick this, and then I'm going to draw my shape. So I'm going to have this shape and then go back to shape format. I want the fill color to be white, so pick white here. I don't want any outline. If you want an outline, you can actually change the color to match what you are doing. So you can reposition this anywhere within your dashboard, copy and paste. Since I need another one, I'm going to reposition this right here. So here I actually need 2 things. I need my total amount and total sales, and then we want to create an option for the data analytics. So you can just go into insert, and then we can actually go ahead and add a text box here. So put a text box right there, and then you can type in data analytics. So here I'm actually going to highlight this and make sure I change it to bold, increase the font size a bit. But for our text box, we don't need any fill color. So when we go back here, we don't need a fill color for our text box. We don't need an outline as well. So we're just going to do that here. So I'm just going to reposition this at the top right here. So this is where I'm going to put my data analytics. I'm going to copy this and then just repaste this. So I'm going to change this to total amount. So here I'm going to have my total amount, and then make sure I resize this a bit. Go back home here, and then I'm actually going to resize this and then reposition this right here as well. We copy the same thing, and then we do the same thing for, we need this for total sales as well. So make sure you put this right here for total sales. Okay, now we need to add some icons here, so we need some icons for our data. So let's go back here, and what we're going to do is that we'll go back to insert tab and then go to illustration, and this one will go to icons, and go to icons, and then you can just type in data, and then you should be getting some data related icons that you can use. So I'm going to select this. I think I need this as well, and then probably I need this. So these are the icons I need, so I'm just going to add them right here. So these are my icons. You can just put this for your total sales, and then I also need one for I need one to represent my data analytics here. I want one here as well, but I think I don't need this, so I'm going to delete this, and then I'll add one more for total sales. So you can go back here, go to icons, and maybe money. So I type in money, and I'm going to use the $sign for the total sales. So go ahead and resize this, and then put it right here. Remember, you can change your icons as well. So go to graphics format, and then you can pick a color that matches your design. So you can actually pick a color that matches your design. So go to your graphics format and then change the color to match your design. So that's basically what I'm going to do for all my designs, our data. So I think I want to actually reduce this a bit so I can have everything on one screen. So now we actually going to go back to the insert tab, go to shape, and then we go back to our rectangular shape. So I'm going to draw one rectangular shape right here. I'm going to draw one here, and then I'm going to change the background color to white with no outline. So white with no outline. So I'm going to go here with no outline, copy the same shape and then paste it here, and I'm going to create two more shapes here. So you can just do this like this. You can create two more shapes here, depending on how you want to do it. I'm going to create two more shapes right here, and then copy the same shape and then paste it. So just make sure it's aligned to your choice, whatever you want to do. Make sure this is well aligned, so you can actually resize this as well to actually fit into something like this. We just want to make sure we have something similar to what we have right here. Now everything is not taking shape. Now we need to actually label this as well. So we need to have product sales, original sales, and then monthly sales report. So we can actually copy this. We can actually copy this and paste right here. So we can just name it product sales, and then we actually going to paste this right here again, and for this we're going to drag it here and then name it regional sales. And then finally we need to have one for monthly sales report. So we have here, we need to have so this is going to give us our monthly sales report. So we have everything set now. Now what we need to do is to populate this part with our data. Now we're going to use the same method. So all we have to do is to go to our pivot table that we created, and let me just resize this, drag this down here, and then I can copy any of this data. Come back here and then paste it. So now what we do is that we need right now is that we need our product sales over here. So from our pivot table we deselected, because we want our product sales, we need to actually go ahead and select our items right here, and then we also need to select our total amount. So this is actually going to give us something like this. Select everything, highlight everything, and then let's go to the insert tab here, and then we actually going to add a bar chart here. So let's go ahead and add a 3D clustered column. So we're going to add some right here. So all we need to do is I'm going to remove this, and then I don't need these buttons over here. So this should give me something like I don't need a total here. I'm going to delete this as well, and then I'm going to delete this also as well. So here I'll right click here and then uncheck the grid lines, and then make sure I go back to my design here, and then you can change the color and go back to change color, and then pick a color that matches exactly what you are doing. So what we'll do is that I'm going to copy this, go back to my dashboard, and paste this right here. So I'm just going to drag this right here. So I'm just going to drag this right here for our product sales. So you can just resize them right here, and you can actually uncheck and see I have an outline around it. So you can easily go to your design, and you can easily go to format here and then go to outline and then select no outline. So this should give you something like this. We need to do the same for original sales. So we just go through the same process here. We can easily drag and reposition this right here. Copy any of this. I'm just going to copy any of this and then paste it right here. You can paste it anywhere. And then I want my original sales. So my original is going to be selected, and the total amount is also going to be selected. So all I need to do right now is I'm going to select this and then go to the insert tab. Just go to insert tab and then go back to your chart. You can use any chart of your choice. So I'm going to use this. You also have a 3D chart, so whichever you want to use, you can do that. I'm going to use a 3D bar chart, and then I'm going to make some few adjustments. I'm going to uncheck or hide all button here, and then remove total. I'm going to delete this as well, and then make sure I uncheck grid lines, remove grid lines. And then what I want to do next is that I need to go back to my design here and then change the color to match my dashboard. So I can just copy this, go back to my dashboard here. So remember, this is for original sales, so we need to actually put it at the top right here. So make sure you resize this to fit at the top right here. So this is actually going to display all our original sales right here, and make sure we display the name as well. So the label is rightly going to show for our original sales. So basically this is what we want to achieve, and then make sure you also go to format and then make sure no outline is checked as well. So no outline for this. We want to do that for monthly sales report as well. Go back to the pivot table, and then I'm going to reduce this, drag it here. I can copy this the same and then paste it somewhere here, and paste this somewhere here. And this time around I want my monthly sales report, and what I want to do for this is that for monthly sales, I'm actually going to select the month option here, and then you can see here it's going to display the month for me. So the month and then the total. So I can highlight this, and then go back to the insert tab, and here I can use this option, the 3D area. So I can use this option for my monthly sales report, and I'm basically going to do the same thing, remove the extra field over here. I'm going to remove the extra field, and then make sure I change the color, also remove grid line. I'm also going to remove the grid line, and then make sure I change the color. I can change the color right here to match my design. So it's going to match my dashboard. So I'm just going to copy this. I'll come back here and then paste this to my dashboard. I think I copied the wrong file. So make sure you copy this, make sure you copy your chart and then paste your chart right here. So this is going to be my chart. Just make sure I resize this to fit right here. So I'm going to fit my chart right here for my monthly sales report. So I need to make sure there's no outline for this as well. So format and then make sure and check no outline. So this is going to give me something like this. Everything is mostly taking shape, everything. And now we need to provide our total sales, total amount. We want to display that data right here. So in order to achieve this, all we need to do is that now I'm going to first of all copy this. copy this and paste here, so I can just put in any amount there for the meantime. And then all I will do is that I'm going to format this text. I'm going to format this text and then give it a color that matches what I'm doing. So I'm going to put this right here and then go back to my pivot table, and then we need to first handle this here. So in order to get the total amount here, all we need to do is to go back to our table, and then these are the data we're going to use to get our total sales for all regions. So make sure you copy this, and then let me paste this right here. And then what we want to do is that we're actually going to go back here, and then under the amounts, what we need to do is to uncheck the region here, and then we're actually going to have just the total amount. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to select equal to here, select my total amount and hit enter. Now you can actually format this data just by going back to the home tab here, and then under the option here, the number option, make sure you select, you go to number option here, and then let's include decimal since we are dealing with money. And then for the option over the decimal place, I'm going to select 0 and then click OK. This is going to give me something like this. We need the same for our total sales, so I'm just going to paste this right here. But for this time around, what I want to do is that we want the total sales, so come under this option sum and then select values. Let's go to values here, and then let's go to count. We're going to go to count and then click OK. So this is going to give us this value. We're going to use the same method and then hit enter. So now what we need to do is to go back to our dashboard here, and then what I need to do is to enable my formula bar. So what I want to do here is that I will need to use my formula bar, so I can easily go back here, go back to view, and then make sure your formula bar is enabled. So in order to do this, just type in equal to, and then we switch to this, and then we're going to select this total sales here, hit enter, and then you can see here we have this data display right here. I think I have to reformat this, so I'm just going to reformat this to get my data in the format I want. And then I'm actually going to do the same thing, copy and paste, and do that for the total sales. I'm going to do that for the total sales here. Go back, I'm going to go back here, type in equal to, and then go back to my pivot table, and then make sure I select this and then hit enter. So this is actually going to populate this with my data. As you can see, I'll select that, and then I can change it to any color of my choice. Now if you go back here and then you compare this, now let's check our data and see what we've done so far. Now this data should be completely dynamic, so you can see here when you select any region, the data will change according to the region you've selected, and also depending on the date you select, your data will be sorted out for you. I'll be creating more complex dashboards, so remember to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my upcoming video tutorials. So basically this is how to create a dynamic and then professional dashboard using Microsoft Excel. So this, you don't use any third party, everything was built right here using Excel. If you like this video, subscribe and don't forget to turn on post notifications so you don't miss any of my upcoming video tutorials. Till I come away again, bye bye.